सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्
सुखों का सागर तू, सभी का रहबर तू, सदा ही छलकाए दया की गागर तू। सुखों का सागर तू, सभी का रहबर तू, सदा ही छलकाए दया की गागर तू। सुख हो सभी के जीवन में, दुख न समाए कभी मन में। जीवन कंचन हो जाए, वरदान दे ऐसा तू।
ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्
सारी दुनिया ढूंढे तुझको, हे प्रभु तू मेरे साथ है। तेरी राह का राही मेरा मन, हाथों में तेरा हाथ है। सारी दुनिया ढूंढे तुझको, हे प्रभु तू मेरे साथ है। तेरी राह का राही मेरा मन, हाथों में तेरा हाथ है। सब पे प्यार लुटाए तो, फूल खुशी के खिलाए तो। तेरी याद में डूबे हुए हम, प्रेम सरोवर तू।
ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्
नैन मिले हैं तेरे नैनों से, रोम रोम तेरा वास है। मन में जली है तेरी ज्योति, पावन पुण्य प्रकाश है। नैन मिले हैं
जी सर।
नैनों से, रोम रोम तेरा वास है। मन में जली है तेरी ज्योति, पावन पुण्य प्रकाश है। बरसा है अमृत रस भगवन, तृप्त हुआ है प्यासा मन। संग संग हर पल चलना यूं ही छाया बन कर तू।
ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः
दुख न समाए कभी मन में, जीवन कंचन हो जाए, वरदान दे ऐसा तू।
ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया
निरामयः
सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु
सन्तु
मा
मा
कश्चित्
कश्चित्
दुःखभाग्
दुःखभाग्
ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः।
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaskar. On behalf, on this New Year's new beginning, on behalf of Team Mission Niramaya, I welcome you all on this divine platform, wherein today we are going to have a wonderful session on growth mindset. It is being taken by none other than a very experienced and very knowledgeable, our very senior member of our team, uh, Mr. Chandra Modaliji. He is a retired IT professional who is now a spiritual scientist with specific interest in application of spirituality to improving health, both physical as well as intellectual. He is an ardent reader of spiritual books and learns through book clubs and creates simple framework to apply wisdom to healing. So without delaying more, I welcome Mr. Chandra Modaliji. Sir, welcome.
Namaskar. Thank you very much, Sharma ji. Yeah, I know I would love to see a couple of faces on the screen. Otherwise, it looks like I'm talking to myself. Can I have a couple of screens coming live? I mean, it's more a motivation to me. Namaskar. Uh, It's not anything other than you people motivating me to talk about my experience, which might be of use to all of us. And we will make this session as interactive as possible. Oh, that's fine, ma'am. No issue. Right. So now I'm looking so good. Thank you, ma'am. I know we have not seen each other for a very long time. Sir, can I share my presentation? Yeah.
I'll make, sir,
No. I am.
you can.
All right. Okay. So, one sec. Yeah, we are all here, and I will start my presentation. Mhm. Yeah. So, before I start, right, I have one request. Let us make this session interactive. The way I want it done is I give you an overview of what I understand by mindset oriented towards growth, how it has helped me in life, and how does that map into the activities that are being performed under Mission Niramaya, and also map it to the courses that are being offered here, particularly for us to change our challenges of life into pleasures of life. I know initially all these challenges, they present themselves as pressures in our life, but we can always replace the R with an L and make it a pleasure. That's the objective. Having said that, right, let me straight away start with a small question, right? So I'm talking about growth mindset, but more applied towards a transformational journey in life. We all know that we can always start this transformational journey. Let's look back into our life and look at it as a journey against all odds. Most of the time, we desire something and something else comes our way. So, given that, right, let's say we have planned a wonderful get together, an event between a number of families, and the day doesn't, or rather, it's a day wherein it challenges us with a journey against all odds. So, we have heavy rains. Heavy rains translated to whether it is Bangalore, Hyderabad, Mumbai, or Delhi, doesn't matter. These heavy rains result in traffic jams everywhere, roads getting clogged, the drainage is getting clogged, water is overflowing everywhere. We have invited a number of families and we have to reach. We don't have a choice. So, how would we get to our destination? Any ideas? Either maybe you can break the ice.
Since it is going to affect a lot of people and their schedules and their time, we should make it by hook or crook.
Correct.
And then
Okay.
reach the place and then be the part of it.
Right. So, hook or crook. Okay. Let's keep that word in the mind. Jagdish sir, any inputs?
I think I collaborate with Sridhar sir, but
Yeah.
not just hook or crook. My experience, when you just say surrender to it, you will find a solution. Because if you look at it from a very aerial view, there is a
Yeah.
clock. There is always different ways of reaching some place, and you will
Right.
get access to this various ideas of various ways, and that can happen when you just surrender and look it deep into within your consciousness. It has happened to me in experience several times.
No, wait. All of us have undergone this experience of getting stuck in heavy traffic. We need to get there, right?
Yes.
And yes, so we said, okay, hook or crook is one way. That means your mind is oriented towards the goal. The other one is you surrender, don't lose focus, but don't resist. There will be some way that we will work out. Then, uh, Sharmaji, you have any input?
Sir, generally, what I do is when I start from my home,
Hmm.
when I know there is going to be a lot of traffic there, I first sit down, give Reiki for 5 minutes, and feel that there is, I am going there without any trouble. I reach there, I get parking, there is no problem. And many times it has worked. So in very,
Okay.
very heavily trafficked areas, I have got
Okay.
through and I have reached my place, my destination in time. And always got a parking where there was
Yeah.
always a problem of parking.
Okay. And now let us come to the other side. What about somebody who is facing a challenge? who is still unable to make it.
Can I
What
make
does it
one
leave
single
him?
comment?
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree with Jagdish sir because once I went to Buddha CEO in Pune. There
yeah.
was a regional event, and my flight was at 11:30. I started at 10:30 there, and somehow I didn't get the auto or a cab to the airport. I got the cab at 11 o'clock. 11:30 is
Hmm.
the
Sir,
flight.
your voice is little low. Sir, can you increase the volume?
Okay, is it okay now, sir?
Yeah.
So 11:30 was the flight, and I got the cab at 11 o'clock. As Jagdish sir mentioned, I said it's okay even if I miss the flight because that's the last flight to Bangalore from Pune. I said there is no point in getting hyper with all this. I said, okay, let me meditate. I sat in the cab and started meditating, and I reached the terminal, and then I was rushing into. And when I reached to the gate, I found that the flight got delayed by 1 hour. Everybody was cursing. I was happily enjoying.
It happens, sir. It happens.
Right. So basically, our mindset, right? We can resist. While resisting, those who are meditators will say that I am sending negative signals.
No, the funniest thing is people, the same situation, I was enjoying, people were cursing.
Correct. Right. And those who are cursing are going to suffer more. Right. So eventually, basically, why I took this example is this is something that challenges us in a day to day mode, in our day to day living. And we need to create a sort of our own success path. And that success path requires us to, based on our experience, not lose track of the end goal, surrender to the challenges in between, and work our way among the obstacles. And that calls for a mindset. That let us call a growth mindset, a target oriented mindset. Right? Now, when we say growth, it is not just our physical growth. There are so many other parameters. We will go over those now. Right? So, those who are, yeah. So, those who are not successful, one set of people, Sridhar, you mentioned, this is how their expression would be. They wanted something and they are not able to reach their goal. And Sridhar's expression is shown here, right? I mean, don't we face this situation every time? So now, what is behind this situation? We will try to define that. Okay. So in the earlier example, there was a plan, there was a strategy, there was an approach, there was a underlying theme, there was a thought process. All those led you to your destination. Now let us take some lessons out of that and apply it to our journey in life. Our journey in life is built out of a plan, a purpose, an objective. Then we forget our objective. We start with, why am I here? And when I look at it from the perspective of why am I here, right? There are a number of entities. One of them is, what are the lessons I am learning? What are the gifts I have? What are the patterns that I need to, and how do I reach my goal? My goal depends upon a true calling, alignment with our purpose, make a positive impact at every point. By sending in negative energies, I don't get anything. And follow the path that we have defined. We need to identify a mission, look into our potentials, and live that purpose. The purpose is the goal. Right? If we take that kind of a scenario for ourselves, right? And what will be the underlying theme? We will study that. So basically, if we look at our life journey, right? If I start with a plan and break it down further, we can talk about there being lessons that we have to learn, which is what this diagram also said. There is a plan, which is nothing but basic lessons in life that we have to learn. Right? And how do you do it? By building on this one. So one of the success factors to reach the destination, if you were the driver or if you are the driven also, having knowledge about what are the different paths available at that moment, which might be the path of least resistance for me to reach the destination. All these come with your own thought process, the process being I need to reach my destination. Right? So, coming back to this part, so there is a plan. There are certain constraints that we have built into the plan right at the beginning. And we have decided the experiences that we want in life, which talks about the experiences, the relationships, the scenarios, etc., which are going to help us complete the lessons that we have put together. This plan, then we get into the execution mode. This execution mode can be segregated into, I've just taken four, these can be subdivided further. I've just taken a couple of examples, right? By the time we reach 35 years, we are a bundle of our own learnings, our own lessons, our own methodologies, our own bottlenecks, and so on, right? So let me call that collection of all these experiences as a personality. And this personality is what drives us towards our objective. We have forgotten the main purpose, but we start drawing from those personalities and mapping it into our life's basic needs, our psychological needs, our fulfillment needs, right? So we have the survival, we have the safety, we need the relationships, and so on. Right? Now, all these have to be done in alignment with a sort of holistic approach. So if I try to draw the meaning of what is this holistic life, right? Let us look at, or let us draw some information from the way WHO defines this, right? So what is WHO saying? Defines well-being, because we don't want to suffer. We want to make it a pleasure, right? So well-being is as a positive state encompassing our physical existence, our mental existence, which is the combination of our session, uh, our esteem needs, as well as the self-actualization, social health, the sense of belonging, and beyond all this, it is not just the absence of a disease. Now, if all this has to be done, right, the primary theme on which the journey is going to progress has to be a sort of a mindset. A mindset, we can consider a good example would be a warrior. What are the characteristics of a warrior? At all times, he is staying focused on his goal. He encounters problems, but he is still not staying away from his goal, his objective. Nothing can stop him. He is always alert. He is always on the move, right? So if we were to project ourselves or take the lessons from a warrior's school of thought, his orientation, we need a particular mental thought process, a mental state. I would call that oriented towards progression, and hence the topic. The topic being growth mindset. How do we go there? Right? So let us try to define and come to that state. How? Let us take life, because everything is about life, right? So let us try to segregate our life into 7 important dimensions, starting with the physical dimension, which is focused on the physical health. But physical health itself, we being energy bodies, we need to understand what's the nuances. How do we orient? How do we benefit from? How do we encounter every single layer that we are going to be hit upon, right? Then you have your emotional balance. My physical health has got another layer within it. My own existence, it has got an emotional layer. So I need to understand how that is influencing me. How is it impacting my focus on my core attitude, the attitude being that of a warrior? That warrior is a truth seeker and he needs to get to his goal. How do we manage the relationships? Balance, establish a balance in all these 7 parameters. If one is missing, it has a ballooning effect in some other area. So what we will look into is the physical, emotional, social, intellectual, professional, financial, and something that is always, though last, not the least, that is something that is always overlooked in our rat race of existence. That is the spiritual parameters, because all of these are with a purpose. All of them, the experiences that undergo there, establishing the balance amongst them calls for a lot of wisdom and our orientation, which should be like that of a warrior. Okay. So now, what does that mean? That means if we look at ourselves and we try to segregate ourselves, we can say that we are a combination of mind, we are a combination of our consciousness or awareness, and we are a combination of our mental health, right? If we are able to successfully manage a balance amongst these, right? Some of the other elements become ठीक है. So what I have found in life is 2 guiding statements to help me create my mindset, right? One is, both of these are books by a reverend. His name is Robert Sculler. Okay. He is the gentleman who is behind the Crystal Cathedral, who started building that with $1 in his pocket. And he spent over $1 million. Right? So he came out with success is never ending and failure is never final. And as a sequel to this, he also established the fact that tough times never last, but tough people do. Right? Now, what is it that is in between these two? It is the perfect balance of all these, the mind, the emotions, and the awareness. And how do you get it? You get it through orienting yourselves with the tool that is necessary. The tool is, the driving principle is, the torch bearer for this is something that is within our inner strength. And that inner strength is again focused on the qualities of a warrior. That warrior is the one that is defining where you throw the beam of the torch. So, with this, let's go to the next stage. So, what do we mean by holistic growth? Let us take a practical connotation out of those elements that we had put together: mental growth, physical and energetic well being, which is very important. Each of them has got a contributing entity in our overall growth and direction. We are like the tree, it has got roots at the bottom which give us the stability, and it also has got the parameters that are above the surface. That means so within, so without. Right? So basically, what we feel inside is what we bring outside. This is a principle that we need to follow. Right? So now, why does the mindset matter? I can always look at the situation of my trying to reach the movie theater and say, get frustrated, scream at everyone, do all the dance drama, or as Sridhar put it, or Jagdish sir put it, right? We surrendered to the situation and the situation was supporting. So we need to have that kind of a wisdom, that kind of an outlook, and move ahead. Okay. So now a couple of areas that we need to look at: mental health and stress. Oh, name the word stress, and we have it from all directions in our life. So, what is going to help me manage that? I need tools. And where are these tools? Some are accessible to us, some are hidden within us. Right? So, we need to look at it, or rather, we have to polish those hidden entities. We have to remove all the layers that cover it, and those can only be done by following a particular school of thought, a particular orientation. Right? So, again, here we need to look at what is this growth mindset as applied to the journey in life. Right? One, the first thing, if I am to get the benefit of this, I need to look at how can I get better than what I am today. I've already chosen about 7 windows, right? Somewhere in between is my progression, is my digression, is my challenge, and is my pathway, right? So I take that approach, and how does it translate when I come to life? What was I yesterday? What am I today? What am I becoming tomorrow? Am I to measure myself only on one parameter, which is physical, or which is financial, or do I need to learn to balance all of them? This is a question we need to ask ourselves. We do get lost. I'm going to bring this, all this, whatever I'm talking here, into how I was at the peak in my life and how I fell to the rock bottom and what helped me to recover. I fell financially, I fell health wise, right? I fell in all the parameters, I was a failure. No more am I a failure over the last 7 years. Okay, right? So, applying this kind of a school of thought of how do I become better? Where am I? What am I going to do? What do I need to equip myself? My father used to tell me, don't worry, son, you are going to be happy. And I used to wonder, he is telling me, okay, you are going to be happy. That's what we tell whomever we meet, right? Don't worry, everything will be all right. But how? Right? That life teaches us, right? That we need to be resilient. We need to always be learning, and what we learn, we apply. Right? Many a times, life is very harsh with us. It puts us into a situation where we have the need to recognize, apply, no reply. Right? Any number of times we apply, there is no reply. So how do we manage that? I am eligible to become frustrated, or I am eligible to overcome that frustration the way Sridhar or Jagdish sir did. What am I doing? I'm surrendering and telling the universe, please take care of me. And trusting that that will, just like a warrior. A warrior in an unknown situation, he does exactly that. And that is what our mindset should be. Right? So now, the more we go through the challenges of life, we get a better understanding of that. We get the ability to accept the challenge that we are in a more refined, dignified manner. All these, again, needs something on which we write. That infrastructure, we are calling it a mindset. Now, we have done this, right? So now, as a professional, where does this take me? Right? I want my self-esteem. I want to be protected all the time. So where does that take me? Am I living my life the way I lived yesterday, the way I lived day before yesterday? Will my professional environment give me that opportunity? It will not. It will keep on changing. It will always put me on my tenterhooks. Right? So, first thing is professionalism thrives on change. And what do I need to equip myself with if I have to overcome the challenges which is ever changing? Any suggestion?
Keep
Either since
learning.
most of them, yeah, go ahead.
Keep learning.
Keep
Update yourself.
learning. Update yourself. To update, what do you need?
Knowledge.
Okay. And as an attitude, what do you need? Closed attitude or open attitude?
Open.
Openness.
Openness. Right? Exactly. All these are parameters that qualify for being called growth oriented approach. Correct? Right. So let's look at it. Now, if I take that approach, will performance go down, or will performance get refined every time I iterate through it and strengthen it? Then, do we build our own? Because there are changes and all that, does it build the innovative quality within me? So, all the parameters that are required for a professional, again, calls for one backbone. That backbone, again, is a mindset. So, what we are saying is that approach, the qualification of the word mindset, has a vector quantity. It is not, if mindset is a scalar quantity, this becomes a vector. How does it become a vector? There is a direction. The direction is better than yesterday, adaptable to the situation. Right? Now, Again, this brings us to the core entity of recognizing that we have three areas that we need to focus. We need to know who am I, what am I, how am I, where am I, and so on. Right? All these are looking at only one thing, the goalpost, the movie theater, irrespective of the challenges that we are facing. Right? So let's move further. When it comes to consciousness, again, it is knowing where am I. I need to balance the outside with the inside. What am I projecting out versus what am I inside? Unless I am able to go to the depth, I will not be able to. Can you please mute yourself? There is some soil. Himanshuji, please mute yourself. Right. So now you have got a scenario. We are recognizing the three parameters: consciousness, wisdom, and energy. Right. Now, this again leads to our choice, our thought, and how we respond to that. We can respond to it positively, we can respond to it negatively, but the image in the mind should be that of a warrior, which means he will not leave the post and go away. He will not shy away. Come what may, he will keep progressing. Right? We need to build that. But for that, we need certain tools, we need certain skills, we need the inner strength. Right? Now, why does it matter? We are going to realize that failures are part of the journey, part of the game plan. They are not here to push us out. They are here to challenge us and give us the confidence that we are going in the right direction. Right? Now, while we are doing this, there is something that is happening which we are never conscious of. There is a tremendous learning. If you get time, just sit alone between my school days and today. What have I learned? Just try to jot it down and try to bring out from there, where did I draw that strength from? When I'm sitting and doing it, what was that theme that was connecting all the I's, which was dotting the I's, crossing the T's, and come to a conclusion of where am I today? You will find that there is only one theme. That infrastructure, that pen that is able to connect all these points is again your inner strength. I may call it with the word the mind. But to to get all these tools in place, right? We need to identify with what we have learned, how we are getting there, how are we going to consistently improve what we are doing. So that brings me to about 3 or 4 areas of life. I've just taken 4. You can always add to them, right? So this is a very common entity dealing with difficult times. Always, what is it that is going to keep me strong and looking ahead? My contentment. So how do I find content? Getting the most of our professional life, right? These, and last but not the least, defining who am I. Can I derive and map some of the experiences that I have till today into some sort of a directional equations of life? make it mathematical. The understanding of that is not one-on-one as we do in a mathematical form. We should also be able to decipher what we are identifying. So what are they? Is my life, emotions, one of the waves of my life? So I take that. I look at whenever I feel despair. Whenever I'm feeling the despair, I'm expressing the despair that I'm going through. I need to understand that it is the difference between suffering and the meaning. If I get the meaning, if I am able to locate the meaning, I can manage the suffering. That means if I know that I am going to be suffering, will I be prepared in advance? Right? So now let's try to take it one more step. I'm always getting disappointed. Why am I getting disappointed? Suppose we ask that question. Can we write an equation out of it? It says disappointment is equal to expectations minus reality. I don't know the reality. Is my expectation wrong? I am, let us say, 70 years today, and I want to run like a boy who is 15 years. Can I do it? I can, as long as I don't have to get up from my chair. But if I have to physically do it, then I'm gone. Right? I can either be Mr. Bean or I can be the person who says, right? Okay, now, then very often, regret is something we encounter day in and day out. Why? Disappointment plus responsibility. You're taking responsibility for somebody else, right? And whenever there is disappointment, there is responsibility. How are you going to achieve a balance out of this? Read a number of books, get into meditations, but we still need to know how. The how part is missing. What is available? When is available? Why is available? How? Right? So we will come to that. Then let us look at finding contentment. Happiness is equal to wanting what you have.